In this video, we will talk about the little-known facts about HBO's cult TV series, Sopranos. David Chase, the creator of the Sopranos TV series, originally wanted to fictionalize the story of Tony Soprano and his family as a feature film. He wanted Robert De Niro to play the main character of the movie. In the movie, a mafia boss would go to a therapist to talk about his problems with his mother. But then Chase's manager, Lloyd Braun, convinced Chase to make a TV show. The pilot episode of The Sopranos aired on January 10, 1999. Chase never had a chance to shoot this movie in which a mafia boss goes to see a therapist. This movie, named Analyze This, starring Robert De Niro, was released on March 5, 1999. According to the plan of David Chase, main character Tony's mother, Livia, who tried to have Tony killed, was going to be suffocated by Tony with a pillow at the end of the first season. But when Nancy Marchand, who plays Livia, got lung cancer during filming and requested Chase, "David, keep me in the show," Chase politely agreed this. Just as Marchand wished, Chase kept Tony's mother Livia character alive until Marchand passed away. Marchand died of lung cancer on June 18, 2000, a day before her 72nd birthday. The final scenes of the character Livia were completed by combining old footage and using special effects. Matthew Weiner, who was the writer and executive producer of the fourth Sopranos, later created the cult drama of AMC, Mad Men. David Chase only directed the first and last episode of the series. Tim Van Patten, the director of series such as Game of Thrones, The Wire and Boardwalk Empire, became the director who shot the most episodes of the series with 20 episodes. Alan Coulter directed 12 episodes, including College and The Test Dream, which are among the best episodes of the series. The actor and comedian Steve Buscemi, who played Tony's cousin Tony Blundetto in the series, also directed 4 episodes. The 28 actors in the Sopranos TV series also played in Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas. Lorraine Bracco, Michael Imperioli, Tony Sirico, Vincent Pastore, Frank Vincent and Joseph Ganascali are some of them. Ray Liotta revealed in his interview on Today Show in 2001 that he was offered to play in the Sopranos drama, but he turned it down to focus on his film career. David Chase was considering the guitarist in Bruce Springsteen's band, Stephen Van Zandt, for the character of Tony, before he auditioned for the character of Tony with James Gandolfini. Chase, who was very impressed by Zandt's style, thought that he must be in the drama. However, since Zandt had no previous acting experience, the producers did not want to risk the job and created the character of Silvio Dante for him. Tony was not thought to be such a tough character at first. Chase didn't design Tony as such a brutal character, but that's how actor James Gandolfini interpreted the character. Chase describes it in an interview in 2007.
"Jim showed me from the start how scumbag this character must have been. On the first day we shot, there was a scene where Christopher reveals his plan to sell his life story to Hollywood. The script just read Tony slaps him. But when we started filming the scene, hearing this by Michael Imperioli's Christopher, Jim suddenly got up from his seat, grabbed him by the neck and almost lifted him off the ground and said, 'What? Are you crazy, Sid?' After this improvised scene, I realized that the character of Tony had to be tough."
Lorraine Bracco was originally asked to play Carmela Soprano, Tony's wife. However, Bracco, who plays a similar role in Goodfellas, comes up with a counteroffer, saying it will be more challenging for her to play Tony's therapist, Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Bracco said in one of her interviews,
"I wasn't ready for a job as hard as playing Dr. Melfi. I am an extrovert. My voice is high. I'm full of life and I can deal with all kinds of bullshit. But to play this character, I had to keep every emotion, every word, everything inside me."
Afterwards, of course, Eddie Falco played the character of Carmela perfectly. Originally, Michael Imperioli, who plays the character of Christopher Moltisanti, the nephew of Tony's wife Carmela, but whom Tony often calls my nephew, thought he had failed his casting attempts. Imperioli said,
"They took me in and I met David. I thought David hated my test shoot because he's a poker face."
Drea de Matteo, who was chosen for the character of Christopher's lover Adriana La Serva, was an extra, playing the waitress in the first episode of the series. Matteo, who was later called back for the role of Adriana, stated that she thought Chase doesn't seem Italian enough about her after auditioning. Most of Pauli's story in the show was taken from Sirico's real life. Tony Sirico was a criminal before he played Paulie Walnut's Galtieri. Sirico had been arrested 28 times. In real life, Sirico lived with her mother for 16 years until her death. Also, before accepting the role, Sirico made a condition. Paulie's character would never be a whistleblower or police informant. Steven Scuripa, who played the character of Bobby Bacalier, wore special clothes that made him look fat for this role. When Scuripa read the script for the first time, seeing Tony's fat jokes about Bobby, he thought he was given the wrong role, because Scuripa was just a little bigger than James Gandolfini. By the fourth season, Scuripa, who gained weight, stopped wearing special sponge clothes. The bada bing scenes were shot at a real strip club in New Jersey. The Sopranos was so realistic that the real mobsters thought an insider was leaking information to the drama crew. FBI agents who were wiretapping the mafia told the Sopranos screenwriters that the only thing the mob members talked about on Monday mornings was the Sopranos drama. The mafia thought the show couldn't be this realistic. James Gandolfini distributed $33,333 and of his own money to all players to settle the dispute over other players' salaries. Alabama 3's song "Woke Up This Morning" plays in the intro of The Sopranos. Chase originally planned to use a different song for each episode intro, but other producers convinced him otherwise. The World Trade Center could be seen in the mirror of Tony's car in the episode intros of the first 3 seasons. This image was removed after the terrorist attacks of 9/11/2001. Broadcasting company HBO was worried that audiences seeing the name Sopranos might mistake the show for opera singers. That's why the letter R of the Sopranos letter in the logo was replaced with a gun. According to James Gandolfini's statement, real mobsters contacted him, praising him for the drama's realism, and sometimes even giving him advice. In the second season, the word fuck was used a total of 715 times. Tony 264 times, Christopher 68 times, Silvio 34 times, Paulie 31 times, Carmela 9 times, others, total of 309 times. David Chase wanted one rule to be strictly enforced for Dr. Melfi's scenes. The camera should not move. When the pilot episode of the series aired, the real mafioso contacted James Gandolfini and told him never to wear shorts again. James Gandolfini was the only actor to play in every episode of the show. David Chase originally thought of naming the lead character as Tommy Soprano, but later changed it to Tony. The creator of the series, Chase, based the relationship between Tony and his mother Livia on the basis of his relationship with his own mother, Norma. Livia was the name of the collaborator and bloody wife of the Roman Emperor Augustus. During the fight scene between Christopher and Tony in the 4th season, when Tony says that Christopher destroyed himself by using drugs, Christopher tells Tony, "You will die of a heart attack when you turn 50 due to the weight problem." Sadly, James Gandolfini died of a heart attack at the age of 51 during a real-life trip to Rome. David Chase was an executive known for his tight control on the set of The Sopranos. Many times actors would come to him and complain about their character's script, saying not realistic enough. In response, Chase was saying, "Who said, 'This is your character'?" James Gandolfini used to call the show's writers and chase vampires and ask them who they killed this week, whose blood they sucked. James Gandolfini thought he was doing well in the casting auditions, but thought they would choose handsome actors like George Clooney for the role instead. But when Chase calls James for breakfast at 9 in the morning, Gandolfini, who used to sleep late at the time, said,
"Oh no, does the guy want to have breakfast together? This guy is going to give us a hard time."